Alien enemies are the third trait introduced in the game, after red and floating. They are the first enemies you can't encounter in Empire of Cats. The first alien enemy you will encounter is Evangelion, in the first stage of Into the Future, Japan. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that enemies of a trait can be countered by specific cats and abilities. Take Surfer Cat as an example, a super rare gacha unit you can get with the ability to freeze aliens for 4 seconds. With the Enigma fruit treasures from Cats of the Cosmos, the duration increases to 5 seconds. Before we start, it is important to mention this is the third part in an 11-part series covering every single trait in the game, now remastered. If you like this guide, make sure to subscribe to see the next one about black enemies, and help us build the biggest BattleCats empire. Let me take you through the 3 main stages of the game, the early, the mid, and end game. Generally, while Into the Future is difficult for some, it is only considered the early game for alien enemies. Evangelion, also known as the Alien Doge, is the first alien enemy introduced to the game. He is an alien peon that is mostly present in the start stages as a way to give the player extra money, or it's used to tank hits for other enemies. He's usually not a big threat to most players. Next, Caesaru is the alien variant of Kangaroo, present in Into the Future Chapter 2. She has good base stats and can be a decent threat with high magnifications, but she also has a long backswing that effectively freezes her in place after her attack, making it harder for her to push. Ursa Major is the alien variant of Teacher Bear, and he can be quite dangerous with his ability to strengthen and gain 100% attack power at 50% HP. At higher magnifications, he can pose quite a threat. Therefore, it is best to try and overpower him with units that can outrange him, like Dragon Cat and Crazy Dragon Cat, or strip him of his defenses and brute force your way in. The final enemy I'll talk about in the early game that could be especially dangerous is Elder Sloth. He is yet another alien backliner who is a variant of Sloth, with more range, 6 times speed, and the ability to knock back your units. It is a good idea to try and rush one down if it's alone using cats that can deal the same amount of damage within a short period of time, such as Awakened Bahamut, or try to get crowd control units like Seafarer Cat and permafreeze him to stop him from attacking. Seafarer's guaranteed chance to survive can ensure you get at least 2 on him. And with that, let's talk about the mid-game. Aliens are the only trait to have a special sub-trait version linked to them, Starred Aliens. This is where our middle game journey will begin. Starred Aliens have treasures of their own in Cats of the Cosmos, and they do the same things as the unstarred alien treasures, except there's even more of them. The most unique mechanic introduced in the alien middle game is the barrier mechanic. Basically, enemies with a barrier are immune to damage until the barrier is broken. Most barriers can be broken with simple damage. If a barrier has 10k hit points, you'll need an attack that deals 10k damage or more in order to break it. No matter how many attacks you deal that have below 10k damage, it will not break. Some barriers can only be broken with a special ability that only certain cats possess, which is Barrier Breaker. It should be pretty self-explanatory. One of the most infamous starred alien enemies is Starpeng, with his annoying guaranteed chance to warp units, sending them 500 range back. One good counter to Starpeng is Chillcat. While Chillcat is not the greatest unit out there since he struggles from sluggish cooldown, bad survivability, and a high cost, nobody can deny his damage potential against aliens. Axolotl is a starred alien variant of Big Sal that has a surprisingly high standing range of 450 and a level 10 wave attack. He also has an incredibly long 262 second backswing, which makes him basically frozen in place if he gets to attack. It should be a good idea to go ahead and rush him with high DPS units like Awakened Bahamut, Can Cat, and try to freeze him with Seafarer or block his waves with units like Octopus or Supercat. Ribbo is a starred alien variant of Crockley, with a huge barrier that has a breaking point of 65k, making barrier breakers a must for him. His HP pool is very low, so once the barrier is taken care of, Ribbo is as good as dead. You'll want to use short-ranged barrier breakers like Fencer Cat or Major Space Cat for him. Finally, we have Miso Cosmic Cyclone. Wait, that's that, I mean this guy. A Peon style unit with insane amounts of DPS due to it being a Cyclone, and a chance to warp units, 150 range forward. Due to its very low range, cats with status effects like Psycho Cat can nullify it effectively. And finally, we have the endgame. While not a lot of them, the endgame alien enemies are very deadly. They don't have a specific chapter or subunit, but they appear in many endgame stages, such as Tower Uncanny Legends and Zero Legends. Most of the endgame enemies, however, don't appear that often, and the alien stages mostly just consist of the previous enemies, but extremely buffed. Sway the Pegasus is not only alien but also behemoth, and serves as a similar enemy to Elizabeth the Leveth, but without the wave attacks. It kickstarts the endgame for alien enemies as a pretty underwhelming wall. He has nearly 1 million HP at base magnification, but it can be stalled quite easily and stayed with behemoth slayers like Courier Cat and Katarzan. Besides that, he really doesn't do much besides just sitting there and covering up for the support behind him. And considering how many anti-alien nukers are there, bro does not stand a chance. Cretaceous Scissorex is a bit of a wild card, having strong appearances in the early, mid, and endgame. As an alien and behemoth variant of Helmut Krabby, who is very tanky with 1.4 million HP and over 37k damage per hit. One of his attacks has a reach of 600 range, which makes him very hard to deal with. But his attack rate is quite slow, so tanky units like Soap Cat, who is similar to an anti-alien Sushi Cat, work wonders against him. Not to mention, he can be frozen, allowing for Seafarer to shine in stages that have Scissorex, by permafreezing him quickly, easily due to Scissorex's slow attack rate, and Seafarer survive and high base freeze chance. Commander or Stromera is the newest Auros variant, but luckily, it isn't as big of a threat, unlike Aldrich, who still gives me nightmares. His only ability is warping, and he has that similar to a 300% Auros, so he's basically just a reskin with a new trait that is easier to counter. All you need is some solid anti-alien crowd control, like Psycho Cat and Seafarer, and you'll have no reason to be worried. Xenobeast Monaglius is where alien enemies peak. As the third and newest portal advent, he is the key behind a great unit, but also some of the hardest stages in the game. He is a super unique Banban variant, due to him having double the standing range of all other Banbans at 400 total. A guaranteed explosion in a metagame where basically no units are immune to explosion, a 20% chance to perform a critical hit, further boosting his DPS potential, an Omni Strike piercing up to 450 range, and a surprisingly tame 5-second attack speed for a Banban variant. This guy is stacked. His behemoth/alien typing allows Soap Cat to be a great mid-shield against him. The last stage in his event is incredibly difficult because of Kurokrok, a black enemy we'll cover in the next video. A pretty severe lack of consistent peons, making money management a real issue, and a long runtime, since you have to slowly chip at Monaglius and Kurokrok.